Good morning, Big Wave Trading family. I only have one new high quality long position, but I also have an add signal and a hedge. So let's go over that one first. First off, TVIZ is producing a pocket pivot point signal, bullish. It's an engulfing candle over the open and close of the previous day's session, but it's not engulfing over the whole entire previous day's candle. But still a pretty convincing candle on Wednesday, opening near the lows and closing near the highs on above average volume, back-to-back pocket pivot point signals days. As you can see, the stock has had green bop for the past 20 days and max green bop for the past 5 days. So it showed up in both of my bop scans. It obviously also showed up in my ETF scan, which is how it first flagged. And then if my price volume bop surge scan didn't have any volume requirements, which I do believe currently the stock needs to average at least 50,000 shares for its 50-day volume average. This stock would have been in there too, making for a total of a 4% long position. Since it's an add signal, you got to half it. That would make it 2%. But since it wasn't in that scan, made it in 3 scans. It's a 3% long position. We half it. So it's a 1.5% add signal. With us being in the month of September, with our rallies coming, small little upticks like 10, 12, 18 days in a row, followed by a big swoosh 1 to 2% down day. This kind of market's going to continue to be tough until we stop trading like that. And I don't think that's going to happen before September ends. But if it does happen before September ends and we do uptrend higher, that's awesome. I'll cut my losses on these hedges and just keep plugging away at the long positions. But for right now, with us being under the worst seasonal period for stock market returns, August, September, first 2 weeks of October, with us being in the middle of the worst week seasonally for stock market returns, I'm definitely going to add to TVIZ. So 1.5% limit order, 1465, the high of the day. First cut loss level, move below 1355. Final cut loss level on this one and move below 1269. So with that out of the way, let's go to the new long position, ALK. There were a few stocks that flagged. I guess the two highest quality that I'm passing on is WDAY. This would have been a fresh signal, but you know what? That 200-day moving average is too far away, with the 20-day moving average also being too far away. So I don't know. Like, a stock being extended from the 50 and 20-day moving average is one thing, but when they're extended from the 20, 50, and 200-day moving average to a degree that I think it's noticeable, I'm going to go ahead and pass. If Wage can consolidate just a few more days to allow that 20-day moving average to touch at least maybe the intraday wick of a price bar, then I'll consider WDAY as along. But as it is right here, I'm going to pass on this signal due to its extension from everything. And SQ, I also thought about adding back because I got shaken out of half of it because I moved half my stop up to just below this low. Was thinking about adding it back, but upon further review, it also is extended from not only its 20, but its 10-day moving average. And the 20-day moving average has a slight slope down. So that eliminates SQ. So the only long position left to take was ALK. ALK is an oversold swing trade long position. And I'll go to stockcharts.com and show it really quick. But what I like is the bullish reversal hammer candle price bar on above average volume with this BOP indicator confirming. But the ultimate confirmation to take this long. So as this stock is alone, does this look like USAP? Oh no, my brain has forgotten what stock I wanted to reference. USPH? It did. Good job, brain. It remembered. So USPH, you can see what it looked like the day that I bought its oversold swing trade long signal. The very next day, boom, up 5%. Since then, it's had a kind of a rough go of it, but it's basically just still consolidating. But you can still see that whenever that signal moved, you can see that there were 2 big accumulation bars. There was already green bop after a period of yellow bop. So the chart looks pretty good here overall. Whenever you look at this chart pattern, it's kind of green on the hard right edge. ALK, not so much. It was green, lost green, even went red a little bit, and now it's yellow. But the bop is turned. The volume surge is there. The only thing I don't like, once again, USPH. What's the difference on that last leg down? Below average volume, then accumulation with the green bop. ALK, heavy volume on the way down. But right here, you know, there was a volume dry up, but that was on the way up. So once again, ALK does not look like USPH. USPH looked much more bullish on its oversold swing trade long signal. But what I like about ALK is this. You can see that ALK already had a deeper oversold RSI 14 level back here near these lows. As it made new lows, it's built a series of higher lows, and it still hasn't quite yet swung out of oversold condition. So if this thing gets moving, it can really get moving, and I would like to see this at least get to the 50-day moving average, these August highs, the 200-day moving average, the July highs, ultimately the March highs, and then hopefully a breakout and let this one become a trend following long position. That's obviously best case scenario. Worst case scenario though, we cut our losses with the move below 71.70 if we get long at using the high of the day price at 73.87. So our inherent risk is very small. It's right around 2% max if all hell breaks loose. But not only do I like that RSI turn, you see this higher lows, still hasn't blasted through the oversold area back into the mid-range area before we can try to go to the overbought range, which is hopefully. But as you can also see, the MACD is hooking, curling higher. So you got that hook, that curl that's starting to come, and the MACD histogram is confirming that move higher. So this is what I like to see. Even though BOP's not green, even though it doesn't look like USPH, ALK still has BOP going in the right direction, has the heavy volume surge, and the big intraday reversal with no other support below it. So when that's taken in a combination with this RSI turn from oversold conditions and this MACD hook curl higher with the histogram confirming, I really like this long signal. So ALK is canceling quality on the earnings, sales, profit margin, return on equity side. So it got 2% for that, and it was also my price volume BOP scan. So it's a technical 3% long position. Now, besides having ALK and TVIZ, I also have 4 speculative longs that I want to take positions in. And oddly enough, despite those 4 speculative positions in TVIZ, if I take TVIZ and even reduce my position size to about 1% in that one, and I take my requisite 0.25% trades in 3 of the 4 speculative positions, 0.5% in one of the other speculative positions, I don't even come close to having 3% available for ALK. I have right around 2% available. So 2% of my account capital on my end is going to ALK. If you have 3% of your account capital available, I recommend putting it to work in this stock, as we're only risking 2% to know if we're wrong, to get a potential gain all the way up here to the 50-day moving average. So if we risk about $2-3 per share, we're trying to get $10 to $12 per share with a move here, get back to the 200-day moving average. We're looking at about a 17-point move here, and then the July highs and March highs, obviously we're looking at some pretty solid returns, considering that we're only risking 2% for a 22% gain. As you can do this quick simple math, that's a 10 to 1 reward to risk ratio. Okay, so that's a look into how these oversold swing trades go with a little bit more in-depth analysis, since it's the only real long position. But don't forget, besides ALK, I got that hedge signal, and as long as we're in this September choppy, trendless, weird V-shaped low volume rally, shallow correction market, I'll always look to add hedges whenever they give a signal like TVIZ did. All right, everybody, great luck out there today. Aloha.